Welcome to Petite Professionals. Today I have my pageant buddy, Andrea. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So let's kick it off with what is your job title?
I am a real estate agent. I have been in the industry for quite some time, but right now I have a business partner and we own Queen Bee Realty.
And your business partner is also in pageantry, is she not?
Yes, she is, and she happens to be my best friend.
That's awesome. Okay, so I don't know much about being a real estate agent. So you have to take like a test, right? Or like what's the schooling and the education experience that you had to do to become a real estate agent?
Yeah, let's kind of back it up a little. So,
Yeah, yeah.
real estate was definitely not the first thing in my head of what I wanted to be. Truth be told, I actually came from the beauty industry. And I was a professional manicurist for about 14, 15 years, and I worked in a very high-end exclusive salon and spa in downtown Milwaukee. And um, I kind of pigeonholed myself into thinking that that is what I was going to do. Growing up, I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a pediatrician. I did go to college for a little while and then figured out that that was just not for me. And the working world actually got me, which is how I ended up in the beauty industry. Just doing something that I really, really loved to do. And it, it, it served its purpose for a very long time, and I'm very, very grateful because it did open a lot of opportunities to me. But how I ended up in real estate was after 15 years or so. First off, physically, my body could no longer take it anymore. Just I, my hands no longer could take it. Just my mental state couldn't take it because if you think about it, when you go and see your hairdresser or you go and see your manicurist, right? Not only are they just giving you a beauty experience, but most of the time you're dumping on them, right?
Yeah.
They could become your psychologist or your psychiatrist, right?
Yeah.
And I really, really, really loved that aspect of it because I wasn't just making people feel pretty. I was like physically helping them, mentally helping them through things. I
Connecting
had
with
been
them
through,
and yeah.
yeah, I had been through weddings, I had been through babies, I had been through divorces, I had been through moves with them. But I started to realize I was not taking care of myself now. I was bringing home all of that mental angst that I was getting from them home and into my life. And it just no longer served me. So um I had to think like, what do I want to do? And honestly, no one had ever really asked me, if you weren't a manicurist and if you weren't in the beauty industry, what would you be doing? I had never been posed that question. And it wasn't until my now husband said to me, like, what do you want to do? Like, you're not happy. And in 2015, I had sold a house that I was living in. And I knew nothing about the real estate industry. I hired a friend's dad who very much let me be a part of that process. And I never really knew what went into selling a home. I just figured, you put it on the market, you take some pretty pictures, somebody comes and they want to buy it, and then, you're done. But there was
Yeah.
so much more about that, like getting the house ready and staging it and figuring out, what was my house worth and who was I trying to market it towards. There was just so much. And one day I just said to my husband, Andy, you know what? I think I want to become a real estate agent. And he was like, okay. I'm like, okay, well, how does one become one? Right. Like, so I like
Yeah.
Google things. I'm like, how do you become one? And I found a business school. And at that time, I had actually broken my ankle when I was going to start to study. So I was like, ooh, God is really telling me what I need to be doing because in that time of me recovering from my broken ankle, I was able to study for the exam, take the exam. And then by the time it was time for me to either choose if I was going to go back to the salon or pursue real estate, I had passed it. And so what I did is, there is no book that tells you like, okay, now you're becoming an agent. This is what you do. Like,
Yeah.
because the real estate market is most of it is by referrals and who you know. And, you don't just like put yourself out there and like, oh, somebody's supposed to trust you to sell their home or buy their home. So I worked in the salon for a year. used that kind of as the catapult, told people secretly like what I was doing.
Like network and
Hey, and I'm like, hey, I just want to let you know, like I'm becoming a real estate agent, if you're ever in the market. And that's actually how I got my first people, was people I either worked with or my actual clients who I was doing their nails.
that's smart.
And absolutely, and it was like, it's like I said, it's all about who you know.
Yeah,
And I finally I finally got enough business that I felt like I could just take that jump. And taking that jump of going from a job where like you have a guaranteed income to one where like you only get paid if you buy or sell was hard. But
it's
I
kind of
just knew
scary.
that, like, for me, it was like, if you don't jump, how are you going to ever know? So I did. I took the full leap in 2018. And I have been in the real estate space since. Um, and I've been with several brokerages, love them. And you just kind of get in where you fit in. And now I have I've had Robin for, I think we've been together for almost 3 years now.
Wow,
And it's been absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I love it.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
I really resonated with what you were saying about how like your job as a like in the beauty industry, like how you needed that time, like you needed to have that role, and then you found what serves you now.
Yeah.
They're both very personable jobs, right? Like you're right, you're dealing with people, you're making connections, and then also playing like a really big part in their lives, right? Like, like you're saying, getting people ready for a wedding. Well, now you're like helping them like get their forever home or starter home or whatever. So that's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, they very much are very similar, and to me, the real estate market isn't about buying and selling a home. It's about changing somebody's life. Like, we have been a part of so many beautiful things. We have the empty nesters. We have the first time home buyers. We have people who, are going through a divorce or we're selling an estate. Our job is to make sure that they're taken care of and that we're with them every step of the way. And it's not, it's not about the money. I mean, the money is great. It's
You
absolutely
need it,
wonderful.
right?
Right, right. I wouldn't be here without it. Right. But really it's about us just being change makers and being a part of that. It's really a magical thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we have people that, we sold houses to 5, 6, 7 years ago who are coming now back to us, like, hey, we're ready to go find our next home. Like that sits with us. And that's why we do what we do.
That'd be kind of fun too to hear. Like, so have you ever seen Love It or List It?
Yes.
Okay, when they give David their list of demands of like what they need and then him going out trying to find it, like yeah, that's fun to watch. So
We actually have done things like that, where people have their lists of the things that they need or their wants and their whatever, but then they don't realize what it actually costs. So we've done it before where we're like, okay, so this is the home that you've selected. Now look at the price tag.
yeah.
So like, let's get back to
Yeah.
the drawing board again. Let's reevaluate what you really need.
No,
You
and
know.
that's good. Yeah. It's kind of like trying on pageant dresses too, right? Like, like this
Mm-hmm.
is what I've
Mm-hmm.
imagined.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
so you kind of touched on it, like about how it's, people and networking. Is there like, did you have to do like a formal interview with anyone to like be in your role? Like, or was it mostly like like, I guess, how did you and Robin decide to work together?
So, um, I think at one point in time when we both started our careers, actually worked for the same brokerage, but
Okay,
didn't know each other yet. And
sure.
I met Robin through the real estate space. I knew who she was. I mean, she's a very well-known real estate agent, a very liked real estate agent. And I just kind of watched her. But when you're in the position of being a real estate agent, you're an independent contractor. So you
Okay.
choose who you want to work for. But you do, you obviously have to, like, hey, I sit down with somebody, hey, does this, what's your compensation? What does this look like? And you guys come to a mutual agreement.
Gotcha.
And so, I say, like, there's no like fitting in a box. I've been with 3 brokerages. And I bounced around until that at that time that brokerage served me. It no longer served me. I moved on.
Mhm.
And what Robin and how we got together is we started to realize that our businesses were very, very similar. And She introduced me to the pageant world. I would not be in the pageant world if it was not for Robin. And we just decided, why don't we work together and do half of the time of the work? She takes one half, I take the other. And then it worked so much better that we weren't burning ourselves out. And we could have, a pageant life, and we could be moms, and we could, I could be a wife and things like that. It just was easier to blend our business together and do it together.
That's amazing. And I love that you guys like you're best friends in real life and
I
in
know
work.
it's very weird. People are like, okay, so you're best friends and your business partners and your pageant sisters. Yes. It's not probably not a normal thing. They always say be careful like who you go into business with. We just don't have that issue with us. Where it's very black and white between us. And like I said, we're very similar. So it works.
It's fantastic. Yeah, and it works. So that's great.
Hmm.
Ideal situation, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay. If someone's watching this and they want to have a similar career as you, what would be your recommendation? Like a tip or a piece of advice that you wish you would have known?
You know, um, there is no such thing in the real estate world as immediate gratification. I will tell you that. It's about planting that seed and hoping that and watching it grow. Um, the investment will be worth it eventually, but you have to put in the work. And that's the only way. And it comes back tenfold. I will honestly say that I don't think I made very much money my entire, like maybe first and second year in the business, but all the work and the seeds that I laid came back to me, and I saw it all flourish eventually. There was a really big um influx of real estate agents that came in during COVID, because obviously we know that the market was doing crazy things. And we couldn't even keep up with it. It was just nuts. And a lot of people thought, they were getting immediate gratification because they wanted to buy immediately. They wanted to put their money wherever they could. And then the market leveled out again and became what it was. And people started realizing, like, whoa, like, what the heck? Like, I'm not making any money. And we saw a drop incredibly of real estate agents. But the people that rode those waves through all of this are the ones that are still here. So it's really about, having a plan, knowing that, you need something else going on when you first start. But know that if you put in the work, it's gonna come back to you. And
Mhm.
it's pretty amazing.
That's wonderful advice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. Before I let you go, we need to talk about the other part of your life because you are a state title holder.
I am. I am. I am. Yes, I am United States of America's Mrs. Wisconsin. And I'm very fortunate and very blessed and honored to have taken that title at the end of November. And next month I leave for Vegas for nationals.
That is okay. So let me rewind. And I met you. I don't even remember our first, like, I feel like you just were there. You were just in my life. Like, I
Yeah,
don't
I know.
entirely.
I can't pinpoint it either.
I mean, because I know we judged that pageant together, but we had met
Yes.
before then. I don't know, but we were just kind of instantly friends. So thanks.
Yeah.
But it's been so much fun watching because I was at I think your first pageant as a married woman. I think I was at that one, and it's just been fun to watch you on stage, and now like you have your title and you're going to nationals. I'm like so excited for you. And with
Thanks.
nationals, what? Okay, so I typically watch it every year. I stream it. Um, there's interview, swimsuit, and evening gown. Is there any other areas that
And
you?
we have our national costume. Hmm. Yes, 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 yes. I am so excited. That's the first time I'm able to do something like that. I'm used to the traditional interview swimsuit gown, like you said, on stage question, but then being able to go and be in a patriotic costume, I think is going to be so much fun.
I can't wait to watch and see what you have. Um,
Yeah.
okay, so I remember when USOA was in Texas and Jennifer Morales was USOA's Mrs. Wisconsin. They did like was it like a Six Flags day or something? Like,
Yes.
do you guys have another like girls' day or?
We
plan?
do. So yeah, they did Six Flags that year when they were in Texas. Then last year they went back to Vegas, and they did a water park day, water park
Oh,
day and fashion show. This year, we are doing a tea party, and it's actually like on buses, these beautiful buses and tea parties. I want to say they said it's like 30 women on each bus. And so we have to get all dressed up in our tea party outfits and our fascinators. And yeah, we have a tea party.
that is so cute. Okay.
Mhm.
Please post all the photos.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then I have to like, okay, I love seeing interview looks. I love it all. So I will definitely be on your social medias watching.
Yeah. Please do.
What's your okay, so I know people always ask this and like what's your favorite like do you have a favorite area of competition or like an area that you like I don't know, you're most excited for nationals?
I love being on stage, and I do. There's something that just happens. I don't know. It's almost like euphoric when getting on stage. I tell you, like, I go on and nothing else exists. And it's so cool. I don't know. I love being on stage. I mean, interview, yeah, I mean, it gets me, but I mean, I can talk forever. But an interview is the one that I'm like, woo. But once that's over, I'm like, let's hit the stage running and let's go. But yeah, I love being on stage.
I agree. I heard one of the kids the other day say flow state, and I think that
Oh.
happens when we go on stage. Like you just kind of like,
Yeah, like nothing else matters, and you just kind of do it. Like
right?
I'm always really excited when videos and photos come out because I'm like, huh, what did I look like when I was on stage?
What
What was I
happened?
doing? Because I don't remember.
Right? Like it felt like it went well.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. Okay, well, thank you so much for your time, and
Thank
I'm
you.
so excited to continue watching your journey this year as USOA's Mrs. Wisconsin, and then see you at nationals.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. And is there anything out like any like oh your platform? Do you mind really quick before
Oh,
because
yes.
you have such
Real
a
easy.
beautiful platform that if you don't mind just a couple moments talking about that.
Yeah, no, my platform is kidney donation. I'm a living kidney donor, donated my kidney last year to a complete stranger. And I did it because a friend of mine needed a kidney. And by doing so, I was able to move him up on the transplant list. And he actually received his kidney this year, December 30th. And he is doing wonderful. So, my goal and my passion in life is to educate people about kidney health, get more free kidney screenings, and encourage people to possibly think about being a living kidney donor because there are not enough in this world.
That's wonderful. I sent you a link. I was listening to some like psychology podcasts, and they did a study, and they wanted to like find like true do-gooders, and they're like, you know who a true do-gooder is? Someone that donates a kidney. So like, and then I sent you, I'm like, oh, I know someone.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. Never in a million years did I think that that's where I would be or that's what I would be doing. But I do believe that you're put in a position for something that you should be doing, and it happens at the right time. And that's what happened. And I hope that by me sharing my story, it encourages other people to want to do so also.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Okay, well, thank you, and thank you for sharing about that. And I'm gonna go let you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. You also. I'll see
Thank
you
you.
soon.
Sounds good. Bye.
Okay. Bye.